come here, let me tell you something. If you're waiting for confidence to come from outside of you, you're gonna be waiting forever. I recently did a talk about confidence and you guys loved it so much. It was the top performing video. And I talked a lot about self-talk and crushing the negativity. And then I realized I forgot a very important point. You know, I touched on our self-talk because it influences obviously how we feel and what we do. But I didn't touch on actions being more powerful than thoughts, because I feel like in order for me to share that with you guys, I also need to couple it with what you need to do in order to get yourself to do what you want to do. And so in this video, part 2, I'm going to be talking about how you can become the most confident version of yourself, how to cultivate confidence as an extension to what I shared in the other video, which you can check out after this if you haven't already. So when it comes to confidence, right, it's not just how we present ourselves walking with our shoulders back, chest high. That helps, obviously, than walking like this, right? Because then the people around you know that you're not confident. And now it's not just you don't feel confident, everyone around you knows you're not confident. But it's more about, this is confidence, knowing what the possible outcomes are and still knowing that you're going to be okay, right? When I think back to all the clients I worked with and myself, when I performed really well, when they did really well, it was getting over that vulnerability, that fear of embarrassing yourself and not doing well or getting rejected. And if you can face those fears, right? Because in order to have an act, to act out something, you have to be willing and ready to face those fears and be okay with the outcome. Absolutely nothing's getting in your way. You'll go ask that person on a date. If they say no, your life carries on. You'll go submit that job interview. If they don't call you back, your life goes on. You're no longer living in this refined space physically and mentally because you're afraid of a certain outcome. And so I want to really touch on that in this video, and we're going to talk more about actions, because confidence is belief. If you think about actions overpowering your intentions, you're more likely to do what you have to do. Like if you can't do what you say you're going to do, like simply the ability to say, I'm going to get up at 7, I woke up at 7. I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to eat healthy. If you don't have the simple ability to do what you said you were going to do, you're going to really struggle to have confidence in any environment. And so that's where we should start. And you could couple that with the self-talk, but start with action, right? Don't fall prey to I don't feel like it, I don't feel ready. That's the feeling side, right? You can't feel your way into acting better. You can act your way into feeling better. And so in that moment, we catch the thought, okay, here we go. We're going down that cycle again. I'm trying to talk myself out of it. I'm being negative. In that moment, then you use action. All right, putting my shoes on. I'm overpowering the thoughts in my head and I'm getting myself to do something, because at the end of the day, if you were going to talk yourself out of a run, but you got yourself to do the run, doesn't matter what happened in that run. It doesn't matter if you were out of breath, you ran super slow, you're gonna feel better than when you didn't run, right? Because if you didn't run, you just feel like a loser, feel like pathetic. I can't even get myself to do what I said I'm gonna do. Like I wouldn't really have any self-worth either, right? Because then your words have zero value. You can't hold yourself accountable to your words. That means your words aren't powerful. It means you don't really have respect for yourself, or don't have a responsibility or love or care to satisfy something that you said you were gonna do. And actually, I'll give you a better analogy, right? Let's say, because we care about our friends and family, and obviously they make us feel a certain way, so we go to places that make us feel good. That's not confident. You have to go to the uncomfortable places, right? You can't just hang around and go to places that make you feel good. That's a false reality. You have to face the fears. You have to sit in that discomfort. That's where confidence is, right? So waiting for something outside of you, a new car, new bag, hair, people doing surgeries, all this stuff to feel more confident, to be left exactly where you are, if not further back, right? The surgery is not changing anything on the inside. I truly believe that anything materialistic, people are like, oh, you can't buy happiness. Well, I'm sure it could make you happy temporarily, but at the end of the day, true confidence, true happiness, it's all an inside job. And it's when we face that and we, eliminate all other options that we start to tap into that inner work, right? Because humans don't do well when they have a lot of options. In psychology, they call this option overload, right? If you ever think of a restaurant, you open a menu, Cheesecake Factory, I'll never go there. The menu's got like 300 things. I'm like, oh God, somebody pick for me. I can't do this. And so when you have a lot of options too, you tend to overthink and delay what you're gonna do because there's so many options out there. But if you cut out all the options, like my confidence isn't coming from anything outside of me. It's coming from my actions. Where's your focus going now? Your focus is going on what is Heba doing today. If I said I'm gonna go work out, I'm gonna go work out. Anything on the outside is a distraction. Anything on the outside that I think is gonna make me feel better is not it, right? You have to be able to say no. You have to be able to sit in the discomfort and do certain things that you necessarily don't find as enjoyable as other things, but they lead you to the long-term end goal of happiness and confidence. And so while you're, going about your day-to-day, of course you want to wake up, put yourself in your best shoes. That's why the self-talk video was so important for me, because that's something we could do at any single moment, right? Like you can't, let's say you're in a car, right? And you're driving, you're 30 minutes of traffic. traffic. There's no other action you could do. You're stuck in the traffic. What are you thinking in your head? What's going on in your head? What thoughts? Are you worrying about yesterday or the weekend before? Something didn't plan out right? Somebody hurt your feelings? Where's your mind in those 30 minutes of traffic? And how are you becoming better? That's why I talk so heavily on self-talk and positivity. But don't ever think that you could just, affirm yourself into being a confident person, because that's not true. Right? You can't just every day wake up like, I'm beautiful, I'm confident, and then not put any actions behind that and think you're gonna have confidence, at the peak of what it could be for you. You have to put actions behind it. So when I was a track athlete, and I always use this example because it's the perfect example, right? Talk about humility, talk about beginner, scratch, the unknown, right? I didn't grow up in sports. This was something I decided to do. When I went into it, I was so confident, despite coming in last place, despite seeing all of the A-star runners, despite seeing their time and the huge gap, I was so confident in myself. Going back to what is really confident, it's seeing all the possible outcomes and recognizing that you're gonna be okay either way. If I come in second or third place, yeah, I'm gonna be upset, but I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna stop. So think about confidence with belief, couple that with self-talk, and you're gonna be unstoppable. You're gonna be unstoppable. Whether you're going into your business venture, whether you're going to tackle a new fitness goal, you want a new change in your life, you have to be ruthlessly in belief of yourself. Have that blindless faith. We have so much faith in people and things that disappoint us, and it's crazy because we have faith that they're gonna change. We have a belief that they're gonna change. I mean, so many scenarios of like toxic relationships or, things that didn't work out, but because you believed that the other person would change or something else would change, you stayed, right? You committed to it. Have that same commitment and faith in yourself with whatever goal you set out for yourself. Come back to this video when you're stopping yourself from doing something that you've been thinking about a lot, right? An idea, again, does not come to reality by sitting on it. It comes to reality by acting on it. So I hope this talk was helpful. If you have not checked out my self-talk video, I believe we titled that, Here's Why You're Not Progressing and Here's What You Can Do. Definitely go check that out and come back and listen to more talks, because this is what you're feeding your mind rather than the negative crap you'd be feeding your mind by yourself. So thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and comment what you thought of this video. And like always, I will see you guys in the next video.